Did anything really happen in this episode?
No, not really. Pretty much every character does one thing, which is kind of stupid.
Do you know what I hate about this show specifically? This show does a really great job at setup episode, payoff episode, setup episode, payoff episode.
But that would rely on last episode being a payoff episode.
Yeah, Chief got to Onyx Base.
I guess. It's very much like they break it up into each episode and they're released weekly. So it's less rise and fall, more you forgot what happened last week. And then you're like, oh yeah, they're doing that. And then they do that thing. And then they start a new thing and you're like, oh, okay. Like I said, everyone finishes one objective. So last episode, the Halseys were standing in front of a door. This episode, they go through the door.
Setup, payoff.
They'd use Quan's help, and it's a throwback to her touching random stars that were in Rubble Base.
Yeah. She they were in her little dungeon.
I don't know why she was there, why they were there, but she does it, and
because she's spiritual.
Yeah, for some reason. They never explained that. As in, I think maybe in season 1 they explained.
Chosen one.
But they explained why she was the chosen one on Madrigal.
Yeah.
But now she's like the Ring's chosen one, or she's part Forerunner as well, but also isn't somehow.
This show doesn't know until it's necessary, so we're not going to know until it's necessary.
Yeah, we're definitely not getting it this season. But the Halseys get through the door, and we actually find something that's almost moderately interesting. We get a Forerunner base, or
something.
Lab.
I was like, is that the library kind of mission? I wasn't quite sure what that was.
They allude to it being Forerunner.
They just say human and...
Not human, yeah.
So
I guess that's true. They never say the word Forerunner, which is mysterious, but also at least they usually give them a fun name.
You'd think they would have named
Stargate,
it.
they're the Ancients. In something I can't remember, they're the Progenitors, because they're before, or the before people.
Yeah.
But they never give them a cool name, so it's kind of just this mysterious race that built a thing.
Yeah.
It should be interesting, but we've gotten nothing for 2 seasons now. As far as they go, it's just really they made technology, but we don't even know what that technology does or why it exists. And we still don't know why the Halo exists. That annoys me the most, but we'll talk about that more in a minute. We see a possible Forerunner on the floor.
We see something. We see a little dehydrated alien.
Yeah.
But it's I feel like a lot of people who were just going into this show blind are so that's the Covenant?
Well, that's me. I'm kind of blind as far as things go. I don't think that they've adequately explained anything.
I see you've watched the Halo TV show.
It's not like I need a dead set explanation for everything. It's just I need to at least be interested. I need them to grab me with it. The amount of jargon that the Keys and Halsey speak this episode, just to get through a door, they bring up math and ciphers and it's this and this symbol means this.
I don't
just
know
to remind us.
It was so dumb. Miranda says to Halsey, "It's not just math; it's language."
Yes, strong woman is stronger than other strong
But
woman.
then Quan puts down her trump card and goes, "It's not just math and language; it's stars."
It's the star, which...
Oh my god.
But then she says that, and then it's a big map.
Yeah.
Which looks exactly like the other map that showed the location of the Halo in the thing. And then she's like, it's not a map. And the fuck is it then? And then she's like, it's a clock. And
I was like, it's a countdown. And she's like, it's a clock. I'm like, close enough. She's like, she's looking back at the pictures in her mind and getting the stars and putting them where they were in her mind. And then...
Which is incredibly skilled.
But then she looks back in her mind and then she moves them again. And I'm like, wait, it's one picture. Why didn't you put them in the place in the end?
She put them in the current modern day space.
But she doesn't know where they are in modern day space.
And also, when she does transfer them back to the old way, she was looking at a cave drawing, which is a flat map on a wall.
It's 2D.
And suddenly she's doing 3D space. But fuck that. The most interesting thing about that is that Miranda takes a little data thing.
I'm not interested. It's I'm not clinging onto the edge of my seat being like, what is it? What is it? Yeah. I know it's just going to be a map to something or the schematics of what something is, or...
It could be Flood, but again, we don't know what that is. And maybe that's season 3, but who knows?
Also, did you see the part where Ackerson was running the 2 simulations and it said that you needed to subscribe to the channel?
Damn. But enough about them. Let's talk about Master Cheeks.
No. Look.
Well, he was looking for his armor, and this episode he found his armor.
He did.
Crazy.
But did he do anything else? Not really.
He talked a bunch and was vengeful.
Yes.
It's a very weird thing to see Master Chief act more like an angry Geralt, I guess, is the closest I could put him. They're giving him really cool lines, and he's a gruff voice, but he's nothing like he was even a couple of episodes ago. And you could be like, sure,
this is gonna look great on Pablo's like acting role. Look, I can do sad and everyone's against me, and I can do angry, pinning against a wall.
They tried to use Reach to make him this vengeful guy, but he was nothing to begin with. Because like from season 1, he abandoned his post to like save a little girl. So I just don't know what Chief is or what he wants to be. And then they're framing him as like this propaganda hero, which again could be interesting, but he's definitely not that. And like in every appearance we've seen him in, he's never been that.
Yeah.
So I just don't know why they're cramming into this thing. But he's having space Skype calls, Zoom calls with Makee via Artifact.
Yep.
I said while we're watching, it's exactly like what they did in The Last Jedi with Kylo and Rey, except Kylo was wearing clothes. I said before we began, I'm like, you know what? I don't think I actually hate Makee this season yet. I guess she's doing something with the Arbiter, and she's like dealing with that, and she's got the turmoil and struggle of the fact that she doesn't fit in, or like she's doesn't belong as the chosen one. But then all she does is whinge to Master Chief in their Skype call, and I was like, ugh.
I don't know. Like I thought like they were gonna reinvent her character a little bit.
They gave her a new haircut.
That's exactly it. They gave her a haircut and a cool little shawl that she unbuttons. But I don't know where her character's like gone this season. Like they had her build up in this episode or like over this season to like at the end of this episode she like brands herself. And
I don't even know what she wants.
Oh my god.
She wants to get to Halo and make the world in her and Chief's image.
We haven't really been explained to what that even means. Like Arbiter's like, I'm bound to you.
Yeah,
like,
she's the chosen one and
chosen,
he's super religious.
But then does it mean like fallen from grace? It's like this show does a really good job of making people do like grand actions in their universe without explaining what they mean. And for us, like should that mean something?
They tell us that it means a lot, but
I know, but I'm like,
we don't really see anything.
I wasn't like, oh my god, she did brand herself, or like she's doing the thing. Like
I think that's because we just don't know what anyone wants. Like even Chief for so long was like, I need to get my armor back, and now he's like, oh, I need vengeance, but then he doesn't take vengeance. So him and Makee are both just like, let's get to the Halo. But again, they haven't adequately explained what the Halo is or does, which is super confusing to me because
they tried to go into it a little bit at the start of this episode.
Through osmosis, I know a little bit like the Halo can destroy everything if it wants to, but I don't know how I don't know how the characters in the show know that because they've never been there, and it seems like they have no information on it apart from the fact that it exists on a map, and then Chief had visions of it. Yeah. Like no one else really knows what Halo is.
I think as far as the show goes, I think Makee is the only one, and the prophets, like the old aliens, they're the only ones who have spoken about what it can do and what it does. And so we know,
even that's just like
we know through prophecy. What they say, and we know that the UNSC has no clue. So I have no idea why it's so important to the UNSC.
Yeah.
When it's just like another world.
And not even just the UNSC, it's just this one woman, just the one only woman.
Yeah.
Who seems to just be hell-bent on now destroying it. So I guess we know what she wants, which is to destroy the Halo. But it doesn't even seem like she wants to really kill the Covenant. It's just like, stop them getting the Halo at all costs, and then we'll just continue on this war.
Yeah.
And she's kind of popped up again. Like, she was nothing a couple of episodes ago. And now suddenly she's running the show.
She's been the secret leader the whole time.
Which is weird, because Ackerson was running the show. And now he's a little bitch boy. So I don't know whether they realize, oh shit, we can't have a man want something in this show quickly.
Well, she also says in this show, like, I'm not actually a part of the ONI.
While she bosses everyone around very obviously in front of people. It's like, this isn't a shadow government kind of deal. It's like, you're definitely in charge. This is
the remainder of like humanity.
Yeah.
Like this is humanity's last kind of stand.
Speaking of our little bitch boy Ackerson, what the hell does he want now? Because originally it seemed like he wanted to destroy the Spartans.
He's been redeemed now. Because he was like, those are my Spartan 3s. The truth will come out.
And he says those Spartan 3s were his entire life. Like, they were my entire life's work. Perez started training 10 days ago, like tops.
Yeah, I have a real fucking gripe. So, between the fall of Reach and this episode, it's
like 5 days.
Chief leaves Reach. He passes out on the ship because of battle damage. They say, like, you've been out for 3 days or whatever.
Yep.
And then he's on, what's that planet called?
Illyria.
The shitty one? Illyria. For one night.
Yes.
They're there for one night, at least from what we see. And then they go to Onyx Base, which they have like hyperspace travel. They weren't traveling through space for like months and months.
Yeah, they show that multiple times.
They got there the next episode. We're supposed to believe that Perez and all these other like UNSC soldiers are now like super battle ready. And if you're saying no, Perez joined him at the end, then why is she the most competent? And people are going to say, because didn't you see her in the first episode? She is a soldier.
And Kai talks about training them, but we've just seen them in a simulation seat, like where Kai like looks at them and then gives them like a debrief after. So it's like no one really feels connected. And we get the conversation between Perez and random chick. And Perez is like trying to pump her up and say, you can do this. When it's like, we know they're going to go die.
Yeah.
Everyone's just 180'd from where they were.
Also, are we forgetting? Yeah, Perez had PTSD from episode 1, 2, 3.
And couldn't
Fall of
aim.
Reach, let keys die.
Yes.
And then came here, and now she's like giving people pep talks about like, yeah, you're going to freeze, and I'm going to worry about you, and you're going to worry about me.
I'm going to be watching your ass all day.
You still have PTSD.
No,
like,
she's over that. Until next episode when she maybe freezes.
More. It should be building up more, and then next episode, it should be like... You know, like her breath, like breathe, and then she's like locked in.
The next episode is literally going to be Kai and Perez getting shot at, probably not succeeding, because if they do, the Halo gets destroyed.
Who are they going to sacrifice? Which one?
Perez, for sure.
Interesting. You don't think they're going to sacrifice?
I guess they could sacrifice Kai.
Yeah.
Because then it'd be interesting if there was only Master Chief left, but there won't be.
I mean, they could set him up as the last Spartan.
Yeah, but they won't.
But they won't.
Finally, the only other thing that happens in the episode is we get more Soren and Soren's wife.
Whoa.
Ooh, gotta find Kessler.
Dave Chappelle and Michael Jackson interactions.
Everyone's favorite duo.
It's so weird.
Soren's also 180'd, which super annoys me.
Yeah.
Because they say Soren spent
They gave him a
seasons.
secret motive this whole time, which we weren't even like, that makes so much sense. There was zero payoff to it at all.
That makes zero sense. That's why I'm sketchy on your whole like rising action, falling action, like setup payoff, because it's never really good. It's never a payoff that I want.
Well, it's like, it's so frustrating because everything we know about Soren in season 1, which I know they're getting away from, but you can't get away from the character you already built, is that he hated the Spartan program. He hated Halsey. He hates everything. Then the wife is the one who picks him up on it. She's like, you wanted to go back the whole time to your comfort, to your friends and family, huh?
And he's like, at least they stood for something or whatever.
Yeah.
And
she's like, you always ran. You ran from them and you ran from rubble. And I'm like, no, he was running rubble.
He was kidnapped from rubble.
Yeah, he only left because he was trying to find Halsey to bring her back to rubble and bring her to justice. That's all that we knew about it.
And he ran away from the Spartan program, ran away, because they mutilated him and tried to make him a child soldier. And it's like, understandable, have a nice day. But this woman is like, no, you're a bad person. And that flip-flops him again, because at the start of the episode, you think he's going to go rescue his kid. Because like I was saying last week, oh no, they're going to fuck his kid up, and that would really hurt my guy. And then he's not funny anymore either. Like, he at least used to be. He had a personality.
Because now his wife whoops his ass.
Yes,
like,
I guess he has nothing to do, because what's he going to do? Snap back at her? That'd be outrageous. Sweetie. Then he decides at Thermopylae, the whole episode's called Thermopylae, and they don't fucking talk about it at all.
Therefore, like...
It's not even a metaphor.
You find out, like, a bit of, like,
Tell
backstory.
me if I'm goofing up Thermopylae, but I don't think it's even vaguely meaningful to this.
It was just holding the line in
his
space.
Metaphorical story from 50 years ago.
What it was is Chief and the 4 Silver team,
Spartan crew.
They were the ones who held the line.
Which is, again, is weird, because there was a bunch of Spartans as far as they showed earlier on in the season.
Also, the fact that he was like, they always had my back, you know, we were the only ones who stood together.
You left as a kid,
But then when we saw him on the Fall of Reach, they weren't like, oh my God.
Yeah, there was no, like, reunion, because, again, he ran away as a kid, so, like,
he was like,
it doesn't fucking matter.
Here I am. And everyone just kind of like, looked at him. But it's like, no. Now he's saying that they were all best friends. He's like, me, Varric, Riz, Kai, Chief, we were all there, back to back, getting beaten up, you know? So it's like, we bonded, and he has like this crazy PTSD that's making him like throw away his entire family.
It's like indoctrination. And then he's like, yeah, my son needs to go through the same thing, or he won't know what kind of man he is.
Says 180 right there. That's the first 180.
And then because wife yells at him, he suddenly decides to attack the people that are about to attack his kid. How they knew that night was the night that his kid was going to face the people, like they had like a schedule that they didn't mention or show us. And then he rescues his kid, and then the wife is like, glares
at first
him.
She's like,
yeah, the kid
runs away from him
because he's brainwashed in 5 days as well. I guess he might have had slightly longer to get brainwashed.
A little bit longer, I guess.
But barely. It seems like they just wanted to give him something to do this episode, and the only thing they could think of was to flip-flop him so that he would have something to talk about, because they love 2 people standing still talking. There was one scene that I did actually enjoy where Chief was just walking to where Cortana was telling him to go, but that was, I guess, 3 minutes, not even that. And then they stopped doing that so him and Kai can stand around talking. It's like they don't use blocking anymore. Shows are just stupid. Like nothing, there's no good camera work. Nothing is interesting to look at. It's just a reverse shot of two people talking. It's this. This is all that happens. And it just pisses me off now because like directors used to do things, whereas now it's literally just like they set up a camera on two people in a blurred background.
I said it in the Avatar review. I'm going to say it now. This is cosplay podcasting.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, Soren rescues his kid and then Master Cheeks decides to forego his revenge, gets his suit, and flies off to go to the Halo.
Also, the fact that he didn't break Axon's neck by grabbing him, picking him up, and having him pinned against a wall.
Never skip
And I know he's very strong, but Axon would have just like, his neck would have just like detached.
Just pops off. And that's when he makes his really angry remarks. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, I don't even know who Chief is anymore. I barely knew who he was before, but now he's just like angry demon man. And he wants to get to the Halo first.
Well, it's been like 7 episodes since we've seen Master Chief.
He just wants to get to the Halo because he wants to get to the Halo.
We've seen Pablo Chief for the last 6.5 episodes.
Wow. First season too, but at least then he had some semblance of like, I'm the good guy. Whereas now I don't even know whether he's the good guy.
And flashback, dear viewer, to before this episode. When was the last time Chief was in his armor? It was when
in the intro
when they got stripped for going and finding Cobalt Team. So
which I think is episode 3 or something.
It was like I think it's 2 episodes before the Fall of Reach, or like the episode before the Fall of Reach. What the fuck? They said they were going to be changing a few things with this season. Like, we want to go a bit, away from the first season. Wishful thinking me, what an idiot I was. Being like, oh, maybe they're going to see everyone's hatred for that. But no, Pablo's got to... They don't pay him unless his face is on camera.
No lessons. It's crazy. Next week, we are going to the Halo. Oh. But I think we're going to spend most of the time getting to the Halo. Like, I'm thinking Chief, like, lands in the last minute. Because we got to spend the whole time dealing with Soren. We got to wrap up that little Kessler story. And then we've got to kill off Kai or Perez. And
we've got to see what happens with the artifact.
It's just there's nothing drawing me into the show. I just don't care. There's no mystery. Like, as in, what's in the little box isn't much of a mystery.
Don't give a fuck.
Like, there's nothing worthwhile.
I know that there's going to be no payoff to the spike because...
They can't kill Chief.
They can't kill Chief and the Halo.
They can't blow up literally everyone, so it's like...
They can't. So I know that that's nothing going to happen there. And it's just going to be Chief and Makee reuniting and maybe just flying towards the Halo at the end.
They're just padding out the runtime.